So as I was saying, now when say this part in a yellow. Now in many books you see that we have red structures, blue and yellow. Wherever you see red, it means an artery. Blue so it means veins. Yellow nerves. But it doesn't mean you're talking about the vessels, no? Blue vessels and red vessels. It doesn't mean there's a blood in there, say blue. No. But the point you're trying to make is that the blue ones are the veins and the red ones are the arteries. And we know that arteries, carry oxygenated blood, oxygen-rich blood, and the veins carry deoxygenated blood. So the point that we're trying to emphasize is that the oxygen contents in the arteries are higher than that in the veins. It's normally in the blue. It doesn't mean when you go into the body you have blue blood over there. No. But the color of the deoxygenated blood in the veins is dark red, and the arteries, so their color is a bright red. You get the point? Exactly. Now this is the optic nerve, and the optic nerve transmits electrical impulses to the brain for interpretation. And if there's the entry of light, right from the cornea, not when the cornea that call lens, not lens through this medium, it gets to the retina. The photoreceptors will undergo this phototransduction, give these electrical impulses from the brain, from the optic nerve to the brain for interpretation. So the optic nerve transmits electrical impulses to the brain for interpretation. So maybe I'm going to say, Ivoni, okay, then fine. It means that information has been sent to the brain for interpretation. And it doesn't mean no. It means the part of the brain that helps the interpretation of vision is found here, the visual cortex. It doesn't mean right? But the part of the brain that deals with interpretation of vision is found here. That's the visual cortex. In actual sense, you're afraid the optic nerve. In this sense, of the optic nerve, it should have been called optic tract. Why am I saying this? When you talk about the nervous system, going to the brain very well, dealing with axons, neurons, and all that ganglia, group of axons, collection of axons found within the central nervous system, tract. Group of axons outside the central nervous system, as a nerve. The eye also emerges from the central nervous system. What do we mean by the CNS? Central nervous system is the brain and the spinal cord in combination. And I say nerves so who know what CNS who brain and spinal cord insider. You find a tract. And who know brain outsider. You find the nerve. But you heard the eye, and so the eye emerges from the brain. And see about also if you brain in actual fact we call it the optic tract. But with the visual pathway, optic tract too is used for different contexts. So let's maintain the name the optic nerve, even though it is not a true peripheral nerve. But let's assume and then let's take it to be like that, which has been done. Fine. So this is the optic nerve, and I've told you it transmits electrical impulses to the brain for interpretation. That's fine. Now let's look at something very here. Now we are seeing this. Now we have the outer coat, that is the sclera, and the outer one. And the inner one. The inner one is the retina. The retina, mostly red because of the retina, but in white, don't mind. Now between the retina and the sclera, between the with the coats of the eye, we have the outer one, that's the fibrous one, right? That is the sclera. The white part of the eye, that is the sclera. And the internal one, inside crown, the inner one, that is the retina. The retina. Now between the sclera and the retina, there is a middle coat called the uvea or the uvea tract. Abonting the outer one, that is the sclera, and inside retina. But the middle one, so they are continuous with each other. This is how it looks like. Now, this a uvea tract now. This one, the iris. And I say, you're seeing this structure here up to here, right? You know the ciliary body, and they put it to the aqueous humor, right? And the aqueous humor, vitreous humor, I'm sure, it keeps the eyeball properly distended. And also the aqueous humor, particularly, right? You see, say, venom, the lens, and then the cornea, they are avascular. So they are not being supplied with oxygen and all that. Into the aqueous humor, say, it brings some amount of glucose, some amino acids, and even ascorbic acids. And then it serves as nutritional purposes for the avascular structures. Into the iris, right? Iris plus the ciliary body, and then you are saying a choroid. Iris, ciliary body, and a choroid. These three structures are the middle coat of the eye, and you're from the uvea and then the uvea tract. In the uvea tract, that's the middle coat. We have the iris, right? We have the ciliary body. We have the choroid. The choroid only vessels over there. Outer coat is where you was Sclera. The inner one retina. Middle one iris, choroid, and then ciliary body. And as you get iris, which is the iris, we have the iris, that is this one. We have the ciliary body, and then the choroid, that is the uvea tract. Very much important, very, very necessary. Good. Now here had the B. This is the lens. From the ciliary body, maybe essence from the suspensary ligament. The suspensary ligament. Inti amanibu hasi, right? And the binsura hasi. And a lens shim. Inti, this is the lens. I have my ciliary body here, other one here. And then from the ciliary body, I have some maybe, right? Called the suspensary ligament, holding this lens in place. Great. So now let's try and go over about the parts. Now, this structure is this. This is the iris. Which part is this? What's the name of this one? Pupil. Window. Now, this structure or which part of the eye is this? Crystalline lens. What about this very one? Yes, look at this shape. Cornea. Now, what about this one? Vitreous humor or the vitreous body, right? Vitreous humor. Now, what about the white part of the eye? What is it called? The sclera. Now, what about this thing here? Sending the electrical impulses to the brain for interpretation. Optic nerve. Excellent. Now, which part is this one? Very one. Ciliary body. And what about this one? We have the choroid, right? And we have the iris. Excellent. Now, do you know the cornea-sclera junction? The cornea-sclera junction. So the cornea and then the sclera junction. Yes. So the junction between the cornea and the sclera is called the cornea-sclera junction or the limbus. Now, which muscles are these? The extraocular muscles. I believe we are good.